Hi there and welcome to Apple World. So Neyo-s ex-Precious Stone Renee just sprung up once more and she is blaming Neo for being oppressive to her for me. I'm never going to be seeing someone couldn't care less who you are, what you have, what you've achieved in life, where I'm not being regarded on the off chance that you thought the show was over. Well, you better reconsider in light of the fact that Precious Stone is feeling a few insane insights concerning how severely Neil treated her, and you will have a hard time believing exactly the way in which far he went to be trivial towards her. Did he truly leave her destitute? So Neo and Jem got hitched in 2016, and for some time, everybody felt that things were going perfectly in their marriage. For the people who don't have the foggiest idea, Neil used to be a sequential cheat when he was with his long-term sweetheart, Monyetta Shah, and it caused a ton of issues between them since he didn't attempt to conceal it, however. With Jem, we knew about no duping tales, so we thought she had made a legit man out of him, and he had changed. Well, reality turned out in September 2022 when the tattle-age Deux-moi got a mysterious tip uncovering Neo Fernando just undermining Precious Stone, however, in any event, having a child on her, and in the event that wasn't terrible enough, he got another lady pregnant when Jem was as yet pregnant with their third youngster, as per an unknown source, the famous R&B vocalist, who accommodated with his significant other during isolation, really fathered a kid with an outlandish artist in Atlanta. He invited the third child with his better half around a similar time as the artist. It's fascinating since he was on television shows looking at accommodating with his better half around a similar time. I was catching wind of this, no doubt, so you all that was a wide range of screwed up, and for some time Precious Stone expressed nothing about it until after she at last ended her quiet and uncovered that the cheating was until one-time thing on the grounds that Neo had been undermining her for a whole 8 years that they had been together. She made a long announcement saying 8 years of falsehoods and misdirection, 8 years of unwittingly offering my life and spouse to the various ladies who offer their bodies to him unprotected. To say I'm shattered and appalled is putting it mildly. I ask that all of you, if it's not too much trouble, quit sending me recordings or data of him cheating, since what he does is presently not my anxiety. I'm deciding to stand tall with my head held high with no disdain in my heart. I wish him only awesome. At the time, individuals didn't actually feel frustrated about Precious Stone, since she had some awareness of Neil's obscure past and his disloyalty before she got hitched to him. Yet, that has since changed on the grounds that she as of late emerged to blame him for mishandling her monetarily and youngster. This show is more insane than we suspected it would have been. Yet before we get to Precious Stone's new disclosures, we really want to discuss how awful Neo has been to her since the separation, since it will give a setting to her new cases of misuse. So we as a whole realize that Neo wasn't taking Precious Stone's agony truly when he loved her explanation, getting down on him and uncovering him like hope. Even does that, he then put out his very own announcement on Twitter saying, for our youngsters, my family and I will manage our difficulties, and secret private matters are not intended to be tended to and taken apart in broad daylight gathering. I essentially ask that you, if it's not too much trouble, regard all of our security right now. He obviously felt no regret for his activities, since he went on a digital recording and guaranteed that he was just a human. Yes, and as a human, I commit errors. As a person, I'm egotistical. As an individual, I have wants, and you understand what I'm talking about. I wasn't continuously being the sort of spouse that you should be. That is simply what it is. You realize I've duped. I've done things that husbands expected to do, and that is the thing that at last prompted us to discuss divorce. Listen, it's the absence of regret for me. Like, he additionally went on Jamster hint that he needed a separation. Better believe it, or regret it for me. He additionally went on Dream Jams to tell him that he didn't need the separation. However, Jem was not ready to deal with their marriage after he documented a youngster outside their marriage going to my home house, where I realized my children were at, where I knew my mother, where I realized my significant other could do without me at this moment. Yet it's similar since, supposing that we will kick the bucket, we will sort it out well. Jem addressed TMZ, and this is the very thing that she needed to say regarding what is happening. No, there's not a superior life. Did he very much like go to where there's no approaching back? Our things can't be pardoned yet, and God will fail to remember. It likewise discussed her choice to seek legal separation, saying that she felt disregarded by me. I'm never going to be seeing someone couldn't care less who you are, what you have, what you achieved in life, where I'm not being regarded now. I'm not saying that he slighted me in front of me, since that ain't rarely occurred, however, individuals once in a while, when they go external the house. They carry on with an alternate life, and whenever she was inquired as to whether there was an opportunity of compromise, she expressed, "Is there a world to where pardoning can occur?" and a compromise occurred. Sorry, what now? For reasons unknown, this made Neo so distraught that he prosecuted Jem for discussing him in a pessimistic manner, despite the fact that she was just coming clean. As per the court reports, the candidate posted an extended and unequivocal message to her own Instagram page blaming him for being an egomaniac, exposing her to 8 years of untruths and trickery. The wild and disagreeable demonstrations of the applicant have caused direct monetary injury. To date, the respondent has lost roughly $400,000 on compensation related to public appearances, proficient appointments, and special endeavors. So he was essentially requesting that the courts get some information about him and the separation, since it was making him look terrible. Individuals found this bizarre in light of the fact that she wasn't lying and was just discussing what occurred and what was happening. This is where individuals began to sort out that Neo was not precisely Mr. Decent person, yet it deteriorates the claim. Likewise, the respondent denies an honor of the transitory and extremely durable divorce settlement because of the candidate's help and support to a limited extent, so this essentially implies that he would have rather not paid her no provision. Despite the fact that he realized that she didn't rake in boatloads of cash, yet it actually deteriorates, he proceeded to say the candidate has not made any monetary commitments or even handed commitments to the obtaining and upkeep of these genuine properties preceding or during the marriage. Subsequently, the respondent deferentially demands that the court thinks about such factors, assuming fair division of properties is considered fitting, so he's asking the courts not to grant her any of their property or houses, since he paid for everything. Now, like I said before, Precious Stone was generally a housewife who just worked to a great extent, so she didn't rake in boatloads of cash, positively not however much Neo, who was a multi-tycoon. You know this yet? Leave her with nothing, and this amounts to Jem's new cases of monetary maltreatment. Gracious. And don't indeed even kick me off on the way that he requested that she pay his legitimate charges, since she was the person who petitioned for legal separation. In any case, definitely it was beginning to appear as though he was rebuffing her for attempting to leave. Well, gracious, it appears as though this was only the start, on the grounds that as per Precious Stone, Neo did her grimy in the separation settlements. She was unable to discuss it openly while the procedures were all the while continuing. However, since a couple of months have passed since the settlement, she is presently uncovering precisely exact thing truly occurred. And listen, child, it's muddled now. The great piece of the settlement is that Precious Stone got one of their homes, so she wasn't gone out as in Georgia, not low where they resided. An insider uncovered that Precious Stone feels like Neo was being trivial by giving her the Georgia house and not one of the few ones they have in LA, since he's attempting to make things very hard for herself. And to the extent that kid support, well, Neo was requested to pay her $4,000 for every youngster in kid support, which boils down to $12,000 every month for each of the 3 youngsters. Neo was additionally requested to pay school charges for the youngsters, as well as $5,000 each month at provision to Jem for quite a long time, as per an insider. Precious Stone feels like the youngsters' backing and provision are excessively low, and Neil were actually attempting to artfully. The insider asserts that he is just paying for the school charges, while all the other things emerge from the $4,000 kid support, which incorporates garments, healthcare coverage, and school supplies, sports and exercises, and each and every other thing that accompanies raising kids. This means all the additional cash will emerge from Jem's divorce settlement installment. Subscribe Apple World for more videos.